about ready to roll. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Stacey Murphy here, and welcome to the 5 stages of spirit gardening: more creativity, more joy, more abundance. So if you're here, then there's a couple of things that are probably true about you. You probably love fresh food. You probably love the health and vitality of it, the way that it makes you feel. You love knowing exactly how it was grown without all the toxins and the pesticides. You love homegrown because it tastes better and the pride of growing it. And you love how you can choose from hundreds of tomato varieties or hundreds of green varieties versus settling for the one that's available at the grocery store. And you probably love contributing to the health and well-being of not only you and your body, but your loved ones and your community too, because small acts of gardening contribute to a better planet. And maybe there is a piece of you, a small piece of you, that you've been feeling even more lately, that your health and vitality is so closely linked to your relationship to nature, that garden therapy that you get, that you want to feel the needs of your garden. You want to listen more to the nature in your garden. You want to be more creative with your garden. You want more joy with your garden and more abundance. And also to cultivate a mindset so that you can visualize and realize your dream garden, and you want to explore more of that. And that's what this webinar is really all about. It's about diving inside of ourselves and understanding what we really want from our garden and with our garden, and realizing those dreams. So there's 2 people that this webinar is for. So first, this is for people who want to really optimize their health. Like, I'm talking next level, leading edge vitality and longevity, like leading science. Nobody in the gardening world is talking about the things I'm going to share with you in this webinar. And the time has finally come. I've been waiting for years to share this. Science has started to prove the things that I've been wanting to talk about for years. So it doesn't matter how big or small your garden is, inside or outside garden, this is really for everyone who wants a deeper relationship with their health. And then second, this webinar is for you if you see yourself as a change maker in your community. I believe all gardeners are change makers because you naturally inspire everyone around you with your joy of life. And guess what? That's just what the earth needs right now. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but we're in a historical moment, and regenerative agriculture is at the forefront of news to help mitigate climate change. And so you're going to see and how spirit gardening could bring even more innovative new techniques to help the world. And those techniques could come through you. You could be that change maker. So today you're going to discover 3 spirit gardening strategies to put to use in your garden. And I promise, for those of you who want to dive deeper, I'm going to share an invitation at the end of this to join us for a very special new opportunity with me, something that I have been wanting to do for years, and now is the time. Okay, so to get started, imagine for a moment that you are at a party. Have you ever gone to a party and your partner or your friend that you've gone to this party with, they said something and you thought it was so embarrassing and not aligned at all with your beliefs? Has that ever happened with you? Where you're like, I can't believe they just said that, and I don't know what people are going to think about me because this person said that. Oh my gosh, this is really bad. I'm embarrassed. And this happens a lot these days because there's a lot of division. It's really common. You know, there's pandemic and vaccines. People have different opinions about this. It's our political system. You may have voted for somebody totally different, and then somebody says something embarrassing at a party and you think, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe that said that. And the reality is that we really do share a lot in common, but we forget sometimes. And it can be like this embarrassing moment where we focus on this thing that is embarrassing, and we fear being judged by who we hang out with. And this can spill into the garden. So there's a reason why I'm telling you this story about this party. It really can spill into the garden. I can't even tell you how many times people have said to me, I don't want you to see my garden. I'm so embarrassed. It's such a mess. You know, so sometimes we're ashamed of our garden that's in process. And what does that say? And we're worried, like, what is this garden that looks weird and looks like half the things are dying? What does this say about us as a person? Like, are we a bad person? And does it say we're dumb? Does it say that we're a failure? And so here's something I want you to realize is that we're all trying to learn new things all the time. It doesn't matter what age we are, we're trying to learn something new. And if you're a beginning gardener, it doesn't matter what age you are, you're learning the language of plants, you're learning about your relationship with nature, and it can be pretty messy. But here's the deal. Like if there was a little kid running around, or I shouldn't even say running around, let's say there's a little kid who's trying to learn how to walk. And let's say this little kid like took a little tiny step and like stumbled and fell on his face. You wouldn't say, get up, you little dummy. Or you wouldn't watch him fall and say, well, I guess that one's never going to learn how to walk. He's such a failure, keeps falling down. We don't say that about the kids because we know that they're on this learning journey, and we know that they're like, we think it's adorable. We're like, oh my God, look at that step. It was amazing, right? We celebrate each one of those little steps. So often the only thing that's keeping us from enjoying the garden of our dreams, of feeling successful in our garden, is that we're focused on the wrong things. We're wired as humans to see what's going wrong and go into this like problem solving mode, this rational mode. And that can be even more dangerous than you might realize. And you're going to see why here in a moment. So we have here at Grow Your Own Vegetables, we have other courses that share with you tactics and strategies and the step-by-step what to do. Spirit gardening is a little bit different kind of step-by-step, a little bit different kind of strategies. It's allowing you the creativity to come up with your next step. So that's what we're going to be focused on here today. So you may have heard me tell stories like this over the years, that the shift there was for me a moment where I had to shift my focus off of pests, diseases, and weeds, which is all the things we think are going wrong in the garden, shifting the focus from there and putting on more of what you want, which is more plants, which is more healthy plants, right? And I shared stories around this. I shared a strategy and lots of tactics for doing that in different webinars over the years. And like, for instance, I had a massive squash vine borer problem. It's a vine borer that bores through the vine of the zucchini plant and kills it from the inside out. And it decimated my zucchini my first year growing. And I spent all season with these couple plants. Everything else was thriving. And I spent all my time worrying about these couple plants that were decimated by the squash vine borer because I was so focused on it. But one day I stopped focusing on what I didn't want, which was the squash vine borer, and focused on what I did want, which was squash. And I quickly found a variety that had a solid stem and therefore was not susceptible to the vine borer that bores through those hollow vines. Now, the most important part of the story is cultivating the mindset, that focus, that shifted the focus away from what's wrong onto more creativity, onto more joy, onto more abundance, and held it there long enough for me to see another possibility. There are infinite possibilities in your garden at all times. And when you shift your focus away from what you want and onto what you do want, you start to see them and you start to innovate and you start to do new things. It's really cool. And you start to see the prosperity and the richness of your garden. So you start to see a different path forward and a different action to take. You feel inspired. And that's what spirit gardening is all about. So science is starting to show the connections between what we believe and our health. And it's becoming more and more apparent that the most important thing for us is our emotional relationship to our health. So think for a moment about the placebo effect. So I'm sure you've heard stories of cancers disappearing when someone believes they have been given the cure. And then later, somebody tells them that thing that you thought cured your cancer was a placebo. You took a sugar pill. And all of a sudden their cancer returns because they believe, all of a sudden they're like, crap, that was a placebo. I still have cancer, and the cancer comes back. So there's all these scientific studies that show the effects of placebo. And I want to talk about what that means for our gardens. So what we believe is, it's really powerful for our health and our body. What we believe is the most important thing. So think about this for a moment. When you're worried about your garden, that it's not going to do what you want it to do, when you are anxious about whether all the bugs are going to eat your food, what role have you put nature in? Think about that for a minute. Who do you worry is going to stab you in the back? Who do you worry is going to steal from you? That's essentially the role you're putting your garden in. And going back to that original story about feeling ashamed of what a friend says sometimes and what that will say about us, What meaning are you giving to your garden when it's not behaving the way that you think it should? So are you ashamed of it in some way? And many people tell me, I mentioned this earlier, if you saw my garden right now, it's such a mess. I'm so embarrassed. Don't look at my garden. So what message does that send nature about its relationship to you if we're ashamed of it? And it's okay. We have all said and done these things. I said that this year, I recently said this about a plant in the garden, and guess what? That plant is not thriving right now. So we all do this at some point, and it's just nice to notice it sometimes. So now is the time to realize that our optimal health, like our leading edge health, our optimal health, it goes beyond just fresh food. It goes into how that food was grown, the love and energy of that food. It depends on a different kind of relationship with our garden, a different kind of thought. So nature is not out to get us. We're not competing with nature. We're partnering in our garden. This is a really powerful concept to wrap your head around. And also it can bleed out into the rest of your life and all of your other relations. It can improve all of your other relationships too. So think about the placebo effect here for a moment. You've been eating fresh food because you believe it's healthy for you, but I'm about to pull the rug out from you just for effect. And I'll put the rug back in, I promise, right afterwards, because I don't want to make you feel bad. So what if you're feeding your garden negative emotions, like you're ashamed of it, like you feel guilty for not taking care of it, like you're angry because the bugs are eating your kale? How healthy can it be for us to eat the food that comes from that garden? How healthy can that food be if it's filled with all those negative emotions? So isn't that, it's kind of interesting to think about that here we are talking about optimal health and doing everything right for our garden. We want to do everything right. We want to do everything organic. We don't want to spray any pesticides. We want to make sure that we're doing all the right things for our soil to improve the health of our plants. And then sometimes in that process, we worry so much and we focus on the things that are going bad. And then we might be, without even knowing it, sending negative energy into those plants and creating an unhealthy situation, an unhealthy relationship with our plants. And that's okay. So we're here to kind of unpack that and notice it and change that. So take for a moment, this first strategy that I'm going to share about spirit gardening is really about asking yourself lots of new kinds of questions. And so what if you loved every moment and every bug in your garden? What would that look like for you? What if you knew that you were eating love every moment from your garden? What if you were breathing in the love of your garden every moment? Your plants are exhaling oxygen. You're exhaling carbon dioxide for them. They're doing photosynthesis and they're in the process, they're exhaling back oxygen to you. What if you were breathing in the love of your garden every moment? What kind of health would that feel like? And how would it feel to love your garden unconditionally, no matter what it looks like? So take a moment and notice how these questions really do expand your feeling of what's possible in your garden and in your life. So this first strategy in spirit gardening is simply asking different questions. So instead of asking what's going wrong, which is what happens with a lot of things, like what do I do about this bug? What do I do about that animal? What do I do about this weed? That's the questions about what's going wrong. How could you love your garden even more right now? So no matter if you've already started your garden or you're working towards getting a garden started, you can still ask these questions today before you even get started. So how is your garden serving you today? How is nature supporting you in this very moment? And how might nature surprise and delight you today? We had the most delightful thunder and lightning storm here last night. I have never seen a thunder and lightning storm in San Diego, and it was so wonderful and so much rain came down. I was so grateful. So how might nature surprise and delight you today? What are the signs of abundance and prosperity in my garden right now? So these are just different questions to ask yourself. And in our upcoming spirit gardening course, we're going to do a whole course on spirit gardening. And we have questions that we're going to be asking every day. You'll have a spirit gardening journal with you, and it's going to help you release some of these emotions that build up. And, it happens. It's like in our life, sometimes you get stuck in traffic and you're like, grr, I'm stuck in traffic. And then you get home and sometimes those emotions spill out into whatever else you're doing. And so sometimes your garden can feel that, frustration that you felt because you brought it back with you from the traffic jam or whatever. So in the spirit gardening course, we're going to help you consistently release those emotions so that you can spread all of that love and more joy into your garden all the time. Because really, this really is about unconditional love for the journey that you are on, no matter what it looks like. If you feel great in the process, if you feel joy in the process, then your garden is successful in my book. That's how I define success, is that I feel joyful. And so it doesn't matter what it looks like. So that's the first strategy of spirit gardening. It's all about asking different questions. And we've got a bunch for you in our upcoming spirit gardening course to help you. Okay, so let's talk about the second strategy here. So the second strategy is to use your inner child, or maybe even your wild child, to discover your next steps that are unique to you. So oftentimes, and in Grow Your Own Vegetables, we've got all kinds of courses that walk you through step by step, everything to do to create a beautiful, lush garden. And I do that because I know that it's going to help the most amount of people. That process is going to help the most amount of people. But here's the deal. Every garden is a little bit unique. There's local conditions that are unique. There's you. You have desires that are unique. Your plants that you choose have a unique relationship to you. And so spirit gardening is a way to dive into some of that unique flavor of your own garden and to dive into your inner child. So real quick, I just want to remind people, and I mentioned this in the spirit gardening presentation that we recently did in the Superfood Garden Summit. I want to remind everybody that there is, in the world, there is all this light energy, and we see a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of it. So of the electromagnetic spectrum that we can see, that's visible to our eyes, we see 0.0035% of that spectrum. So we do not see 99 point whatever that is percent of the visible spectrum. So there is a whole bunch of energy in the field that we don't even see. All right. So what we see is a tiny, tiny fraction. What we hear, also a tiny fraction. We hear between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz. And just to give you a sense, dolphins can decipher frequencies all the way up to 120,000 hertz. So if we can only see a tiny fraction of things, and if we can only hear a tiny fraction of things, the space that is all around us, all of this space that I'm moving my arms through, is filled with information. It's filled with information, light and electromagnetic frequency energy that we can't see. But for some of us, we can perceive it. There's people who have more tendency to be able to perceive it. And spirit gardening is a way to tap into some of those things that we can't see, but we can, over time, we can start to feel it. And so that's what spirit gardening helps people do, is to access some of that information. Now, the way to get there is oftentimes through your inner child. So think about, have you seen children lately, by the way? Have you seen them? They're amazing. They walk around and they're like, why? Why is that the case? And they're digging in the dirt just to see what's there. They are playing games. They are just trying things out. They're just tumbling just to see what will happen. They're rolling down hills. They're doing whatever delights them, whatever's curious for them. They're playing lots of games. As adults, we sometimes become too serious. And so I'm a big advocate of rolling down the hill to see what will happen. So think about it. I used Legos to learn how to build things that are structurally sound. I used a video game to learn how to type on a keyboard without looking at it so that I could communicate with anybody quickly. I used card games to learn business strategy. My grandma, by the way, would have been really good at business. She was an awesome card player. So think about what games you've played and what have they taught you over the years? And how many games have you played recently to to try new things. How many games have you played recently just out of curiosity? All right. So the good news is that we really can access our inner child no matter what age we are. And to access your inner child, are you willing to do something a bit unusual with me here today? We could call it a game. Are you guys willing to do something a little bit unusual? It really is simple. It's a modern day game for all ages. So are you willing to close your eyes and follow along with me? So I'm going to lead you through a guided visualization. And all that means, for those of you who have never done this before, is that you are going to use your imagination to see things as I speak. Now, this is my number one mindset technique to get me back in the state of childlike wonder and curiosity. I'm going to take you on a little magical journey. There's no right or wrong things that you might experience in this process. There's nothing dangerous going on here. You're just going to close your eyes and you're going to follow along. And the reason you want to do this is because you might see something meaningful to you. You might see a person, a plant, a message. You might hear something. You might know something. You might feel something. You might get inspired to try something in your garden. All you do in this process is just notice what shows up. There's no effort. You don't have to try. Just sit back and listen and see, kind of like watching a movie, kind of like listen to the words and watch the movie play in front of you. You don't have to try. Now, and it's all purely meant for you, this little story I'm going to take you on. And I want you to know that there's no way to do this wrong. So I want you to know that if you're the type of person, when you close your eyes and somebody says, imagine a flower, let's say you're the type of person who can't see the flower in front of you. I totally get that. There's people who can actually see if you close your eyes and say, imagine a flower, they can see it. There's people that if you close your eyes and you say, okay, imagine the smell of a flower, they can smell it. But there are other people who just, when they close your eyes and you say, imagine a flower, they imagine it, but they don't see it. So whatever happens for you, it is all perfectly fine. Don't worry. It's all perfectly unfolding for you. And we're going to go through the process. And at the end, I invite you to write in the chat box what your experience is afterwards, not during. So afterwards, I'm going to invite you to share a little bit about your experience. All right. Are you guys ready for this? So I'm going to put on the screen, just because I don't want people to get distracted by my face talking if they open their eyes. So I'm going to have you close your eyes here in a second. And I just, I want to have an image up on the screen. So just in case you don't get distracted by my face. All right. So I'm going to stop my video for a second here. Okay. So here we go. So simply follow along with me. I'm going to speak a little slower than I normally do during this visualization, and just keep going to see what comes. So take a moment and close your eyes. Sit up and get comfortable. Put a hand on your heart and rub your heart just a little bit to wake it up. And now place your attention on the darkness on the back of your eyelids. Take a deep breath into your heart and exhale. Take another deep breath into your heart and exhale. Take one final deep breath in and let it go all the way up into the top of your head. And exhale all the way out. Now, feel the space of your chest, the whole cavity of your chest. And place your attention on your heart. Feel your heart. Notice your heart. And feel the expansiveness of your chest. Now, for a moment, place your attention on the space outside your chest. Notice the space all around your chest. Notice the space in front of your heart. Notice the space in back of your heart. And feel the space all around your heart. Notice the vastness all around you. Now, I invite you to take a moment and imagine there is an umbrella above you, and it is showering you with white light. It's almost like bubbles of white light. And as they shower down on you, they go into every cell of your body. It clears out any tension, any resistance. The bubbles start clearing out any stress, any thoughts. Just let them go. You don't need them right now. They'll be there when you get back. All the bubbles are releasing all worry and anxiety. Let the white light pour down over your head and massage your brain, massage behind your eyes, massage your nose, massage your tongue, massage your throat, massage your chest, massage your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands and your fingers. Let the white bubbles flow through your chest, through your upper abdomen, your lower abdomen, your hips, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your feet, and your toes. Let these bubbles rejuvenate, replenish, and bring all your cells into homeostasis and health. And now the most magical thing has happened. This umbrella of light has become an elevator. And as you breathe, you can feel yourself lifting up even more. It's so easy to flow upwards with this elevator of light as you continue to rise, lifting a little more. And there you go. And now you find yourself above the clouds in a magical forest just for you. Take a look around at the animals that have come to join you. Notice the flowers, the trees, the plants, the insects, the mushrooms. There are all kinds of nature beings just for you. And there are fairies that are lighting up your path to continue on your journey. And you wander down the path and there's a special tree just for you. You notice it because it has a big, beautiful carved door with an image on it just for you. You walk up and open the door. Inside is a friend that you haven't connected with recently, but you love. You're excited to see them. You give them a hug. You tell them you love them. And the fairies continue to guide you down the path. And now you come to a river and it's gently flowing. You see a little branch floating down the river. It looks fun. And you notice a boat on the shore. And you easily get in the boat and start floating down the river. And as the river turns, you realize that you're heading towards a place that you've always wanted to go. And everyone that's there is eager to see you. They're all on the bank of the river welcoming you and celebrating you. It's your dream garden, and all the nature beings are celebrating your arrival. You easily get out of the boat, and there is the perfect bench for you to sit on and enjoy your garden. You're so grateful for this opportunity to spend time here. It's your dream garden. You sit on the bench. It's the perfect temperature. You feel the sunshine on your skin. It feels like a warm embrace. And then the most magical thing happens. You can see your plants photosynthesizing. You can see the carbon dioxide particles in the air and the sun rays beaming down, and they combine, and that energy glows as it enters the plants. It glows yellow. And you can see that glowing energy travel down, down, down to the roots of the plants. And now the ground is glowing because the roots are everywhere. Even below your feet, you can see the roots glowing. And now you can feel little mini earthquakes as the soil shakes with life. You can see all the microorganisms in the soil because they start to glow light blue in excitement. And they flow into the plant roots and greet that wonderful yellow energy. And then you see these wonderful tidal pools of blue and yellow energy combining, and the energy turns green. This beautiful energy, this green energy, it travels up into the plants, and you are watching leaves grow. It is magical. It is happening so fast. Leaves unfurling right before your eyes, and you're watching the green energy form balls, and they become solid and turn into fruit on all the plants. You are watching the energy that is creating your garden. And you hear a voice. It's a plant. And this plant is so eager to connect with you. It says to you, I'm so excited to meet you. Take a moment and notice. What kind of plant is it? Maybe it's a vegetable. Maybe it's an herb. Maybe it's a flower. Maybe it's something you've never seen before. Take a moment to greet it. Thank the plant. Maybe even give it a hug. And now take a moment to appreciate this magical garden that is growing right before your very eyes. This orchestra of yellow and blue and green light that is swirling, dancing, and growing into a gorgeous, lush garden. Take a moment to appreciate the whole perfect thing. It's here just for you. This is your garden. You are helping to create it. Send your magical garden a kiss. Tell it, I love you, and I'll see you later. And now, as you sit on your garden bench, you close your eyes. And now wiggle your fingers, your toes, your nose in real life. Start to come back to your body here on this webinar. Take a moment to come back slowly. All right. How was that for everybody? I'm curious. I would love to hear from you if you saw something, if there was a plant that came to speak with you, if you noticed somebody or something that was exciting for you, and what that meant for you in your garden. So sometimes when you go on a little journey like this one, what happens is you see something you wouldn't normally expect to see. And that's exactly why we do it. So I'm noticing in the chat box, somebody said, wow. Alan says, you are garden spirit goddess, nature incarnate. Terry said, I thought it was an artichoke first, but then it turned into a sunflower. Very cool. Janie says, salsify. We have a sorted relationship. I love it. Ali said, I saw garlic. So what I love about this is that we really do have spirit plants to work with in our gardens, and they teach us a lot about life and ourselves. And so I wanted to walk us through this visualization for you to connect to a plant that maybe you already know and you want a new relationship. Maybe it's something you've never worked with. Maybe you didn't even recognize what it was, and now you have to go figure out what it was. You know, sometimes you have to draw it and show it to people and say, what is this? I'm supposed to find this plant. So take a moment for yourself and write down your experience. And if there was somebody who visited you in the process, maybe they're important in your garden in some way, shape, or form. I know that in my garden, there are certain people that always come to mind. Also, there are my great uncle Eric, who was a beet farmer. Sometimes I connect with him in the garden, and he's on the other side. So sometimes using the garden to connect with people is another thing that I do. So who did you see? What did you see? What did you hear, if anything? I didn't really ask you to visualize hearing anything during that process, but you might have heard something. And then what were the messages? What did the plants have any messages for you? And then how did it feel? So take a couple of moments for yourself and make sure you document that so that you can use that to inspire yourself. And that's what I'm going to talk about next, is what to do with these things once you start to see them in these visualizations. So often in life, So often in life, we know what we want, and we want somebody to just tell us what to do to get it. But when you give yourself the time to go inside, like we just did, you find a lot of the answers there that are perfect for you, that are unique to you, and nobody else can do that. So I like being the person to help you along that journey so that you can find what it is that you're looking for versus just telling you exactly what you need. I can do that. In a lot of cases, I can tell you exactly how to garden to be a success. But I also love helping you discover things that nobody else could discover except for you. You are unique. All right. So are you willing to explore what you discovered here in this visualization? I'm curious. And are you willing to dive into your own nature, your own wild child? That's like your wild child is your nature, right? So this is what it takes to get in that mindset. So you receive ideas for what to do next. There's multiple ways to do this, and we're going to be doing a lot more of this in the Spirit Gardening course that's coming up. We have visualizations like this one, and there's also a step-by-step process as well. But it's not like other how-to step-by-steps. Nobody in the gardening world is teaching anything like this. It's not how most garden breakthroughs happen. So that's why I really thought now was the time to bring spirit gardening to life. So I'm going to now take you through the step-by-step process. For those of you who like a little bit of science in your world, who want a sort of step-by-step process, this is why this is so important. This is the process that will help you tap into even more of that inner child and that wild child that we were exploring in that visualization. So one of the things I wanted to say before I share the 5 stages of spirit gardening, which is really the science of spirit gardening. The unknown is scary. And so sometimes we like other people to tell us what to do, but you guys are brave. You guys are stepping up and saying, yeah, I want to do something unique. I want to do something different. And so I'm really grateful you're here. And I did want to mention, like, science is really diving into the unknown these days, and they're diving into quantum physics, and they're diving into what happens inside of the protons that are inside of our body, right? And so just, for a moment, we talked about how much love you can pour into your garden. Think about the moment when science discovered the benefits of purring cats. So for a long time, people who had cats, they loved cats, they would pet them and they would feel better when they purred. And there was a lot of questions about, why do cats purr? Do they purr because something about that is about helping another cat feel good, like their baby cat feel good? Is it about self-soothing themselves? Why are they purring? And there really is now data that shows that the reason why we have cats at hospitals and such is that a purring cat in your lap really does help. There's an energy of life there. There's an energy of joy, of abundance, of prosperity, of health, that it's a frequency. And so the 5 stages of spirit gardening is really about tuning yourself so that you maintain a frequency of abundance and of prosperity. So that's what the 5 stages is all about. And it's not something that you just do once and you're done. It really is something that you come back to again and again. So let's go through the 5 stages of spirit gardening now. Some of you might be familiar with these. We did a presentation on this recently. So the first stage of spirit gardening is your childlike wonder. And so, it's one thing to tell people, oh, well, you need to go out and wonder more. And then the rational brain does some funny stuff. So luckily, you got a little experience today around a visualization, which is like, okay, take yourself out of the normal routine so that you can wonder a little bit more. So in the wonder stage of spirit gardening, it's all about asking more questions. And we talked about some questions earlier in the webinar today, but also questions about what you notice. It's about observing. It's about looking at what's going on outside and wondering about it. So the wonder questions are different than your tactical questions. Wonder questions are not like, how many seeds do I plant? Where do I plant it? Those are tactical questions. Wonder questions are things like, I wonder why this stem is square and this stem is round. I wonder why these leaves grow 2 at a time and these leaves only grow 1 at a time. And So I recommend for this first stage of gardening, first stage of spirit gardening, is you write down 100 questions that are all about the wonder of your garden. I wonder why this is the case. I wonder why I noticed this. So what do you notice about your garden? And then the phrasing is, I wonder why, whatever it is. And the benefit of asking these questions is that when you start to wonder about nature, you start to see new things. And this is related to you as well. You are nature as well. And so when you start to notice how wonderful nature is out there, you start to realize how unlimited you are as a human being and how much you can wonder about yourself. I wonder why I do this. I wonder why I do this. There's always something new about you. And that's the beautiful part of spirit gardening and this first stage of wonder is you start to connect to the wonder of nature, and all of a sudden it goes right back at you and you're like, whoa, I'm infinite, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful. It's a really fun process to see that connection of when you start to wonder more, how much you wonder more about yourself as well. All right. So I like to call this stage, or I like to say about this stage, be a wonder gatherer. Wonder gatherer. I like that. I don't know why. It sounds like hunter gatherer, but it's like wonder gatherer. And then stage 2 of spirit gardening is ease. And this is one of those things where it seems like the cart before the horse, because you're like, well, I'm doing spirit gardening because I want more creativity, more joy, more abundance, which feels like I want more ease. I want things to be easier. And now you're telling me that the second stage is ease, but how do I do that? So the way that I like to think about ease is to get into the feeling of ease is to get back to some of those questions that we asked earlier on the webinar, which is, how is nature showing up to support me? So think about this for a moment. When you go to sleep at night, you have trillions of cells in your body, and you don't have to think about it. They just do everything. They breathe for you. They replenish for you. They rejuvenate your cells. They're doing all of these things for you. They're beating your heart for you. They're moving food around. They're digesting for you. And you don't have to say, hey, cells, digest. You don't have to say, hey, cells, pump my heart. Hey, cells, breathe. It all does it. And so the way that I think about ease is I think about all the ways that nature is supporting me right now without me even realizing it. And it's like you start to flow down the river so gently with the flow of the river. On Monday, I started the week on a hot air balloon. Monday morning, I went for a sunrise hot air balloon. And it was wonderful, the ease of floating on an air current, because there's no wind in your face. Whenever you're flying, if you're skydiving or flying in an airplane or whatever, or driving in a car, there's all this wind. And you think, wow, this wind is turbulent. But when you're in a hot air balloon, you're floating on the current of the air. And it's the most peaceful feeling in the world. And you're like, we're moving, but it feels so easy, feels just so flowing. And that's the feeling of ease, and recognizing that that's going on in your body when you sleep. And then you walk outside into your garden and you look at what your garden did overnight and you're like, holy cow, those seeds germinated overnight. Holy cow, whatever happened overnight. Noticing that nature is there to support you. The prosperity and richness of nature is there to support you. All you're doing is creating an ecosystem for it to thrive. And it really, sometimes we overdo gardening because we think we have to do too much, and then we muck it all up. And if we let nature balance itself out a little bit more and give it the space, just lightly give it the things it needs, get the right soil in place and these things so that life can thrive, and step back and allow it to happen. It really, that's what ease is all about. So that's the second step, because the reason you want ease as your second step is what happens is that from ease comes this feeling of prosperity, which will lead to the third step. It will allow the third step to happen, which is why you need the ease. If you're working really hard at solving a problem, you won't find an inspired action. You'll be looking to solve a problem. So this is why it's so important to stay in this easy feeling. And what's great for you as a person when you stay in this easy feeling is you recognize how much of life could be easier than you realize, if you just let it be. So it's a wonderful stage. It's to master ease is something I've been playing with for a long time. Stage 3 of spirit gardening is play. So this is where you take your wonderful question and you've gone through your ease stage where you like noticing how nature is there to support you. And all of a sudden you're inspired to do something because of what you're noticing and the curiosity you have about your plants. You're going to have an inspired action. It might be like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I planted it over there instead of over there. Or I wonder what would happen if, and now instead of your wonder question being about why something is, you wonder what would happen if you did it a certain way. And that's when you take action. That is what's called an inspired action. And it comes naturally from stage 1 and stage 2. And this is like our little kid stage where we really, we get to play, and it's unconditional. It's curiosity at this point. It's not like I need this to for sure do what I want it to do. I'm curious what would happen if. This is how things happen, like hugel culture, where somebody looked around and they said, well, logs, they accumulate a lot of moisture. And if I planted that under my garden, I wonder if I could conserve water. And sure enough, that's the case. So people kind of looking around and saying, I wonder what would happen if, and it leads to playful, fun inventions. The 4th stage of spirit gardening is to evolve. And this, we don't have enough time to go deeply into this today, but what are we here to do on this planet if not evolve and grow, right? As human beings, and also making a better planet. And so when we in our garden, sometimes all those feelings come up, those feelings around, I wish it would have gone this way. I'm frustrated that this didn't happen. Gosh, I'm a little bit ashamed that it looks so bad right now. I feel guilty that I killed that plant. I'm so angry at those squirrels for messing up my garden, like all the different emotions that we have. If you're feeling it in your garden, then you're probably feeling it elsewhere in your life as well. And if you can find a way to come to peace with it in your garden, you can evolve that feeling part of you, and that will naturally translate to the rest of your life. And what I've noticed is I was in an intentional community, and I was growing in a new place in San Diego for the first time. And we had these rats that loved to eat everything. And everything we cultivated, didn't eat any of the quote weeds that grew naturally. And I remember my housemates being like, aren't you mad? Aren't you like frustrated? Aren't you like, they'd be like, why don't you do something? Like, why don't, they were very eager to like fix the problem. And I was kind of watching it all unfold. And I was noticing that there was also energy in the house that was around people not being okay with being in the same spaces. They had different ideas for how clean to be in the house. They had different ideas of what was appropriate in the kitchen. And what was cool is this conversation about how to deal with these rats transmuted over into how do we communicate with one another about what we want out of living here. It was really cool. So this evolution piece of the spirit gardening, it's not just about making your garden a better place, a more peaceful place, a more loving place, an unconditional loving place, but it's also about cultivating that condition within yourself and seeing those ripple effects in your life, your relationships change. I noticed I could sleep better at night when I stopped worrying about my garden. I started sleeping really well after that. So, and it also cascaded into other areas. So it really is about evolving into being the kind of person that you want to be, this unconditional loving person that you already are. And, we're all human. We're all going to mess things up, and we're going to apologize for it. And, we got to shake it off, but we got to evolve through it together. Right. And then the 5th stage of spirit gardening is gratitude. And I've said this so many times, it's a broken record. The number one fertilizer in any garden is gratitude. And you are one with nature. And so the plants hear your every thought. And so if you're if you're sending out thoughts that are not loving, your garden is feeling that. And then it creates this energy like your garden is some kind of enemy, and your garden is not your enemy. Your garden is like your best friend, right? When you want to shower it with love and appreciation and gratitude and thank you for nourishing me, and thank you for this wonderful feeling of vitality and energy that you contribute to me every day, and just showering that love onto the garden. And that really is what the feeling of prosperity and abundance is all about, is that feeling of, wow, I'm so blessed that there are all these plants that are in my life that nourish me. And I'm so grateful for the sun that shines. And I'm so grateful for the rain that drops out of the sky. And I'm so grateful for the soil with all of the microorganisms, all of the things that you have to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the beauty, the colors of my garden. I'm grateful for the textures and the feeling of, I'm grateful for the smells of my garden. It's like aromatherapy out there. There's so many ways to be grateful for your garden. And it really is the number one fertilizer. I had somebody babysit my garden once, and sometimes you're worried that you're going to come home and your garden is going to be worse because you went on a vacation. And I came home and my garden was like exploding. It was amazing. It was beautiful. And I remember when I was nervous leaving because I was giving my garden over to Renee, and she knew nothing about gardening. And so I said, here's what you need to do. And I walked her through step by step. Here's everything you need to do. Here's all the different days you need to do it. But I never told her to love it. But the cool thing was that she naturally loved it. So she had always wanted to garden. So she sat in the garden every day and she journaled and she did yoga and she was lavishing love on all the plants. And I came home and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing to see that garden so lush coming home. And it's funny that we forget to tell people as we're going on vacation, hey, by the way, remember to be thankful and grateful and to tell the garden you love it. But that should be at the top of the list whenever you go on vacation, when you're telling somebody to care for your garden. Okay, so those are the 5 stages of spirit gardening. And I don't know if you noticed, but there is a massive amount of innovation emerging right now in the world. And there is also a lot of angst about climate change and what are we doing as people on this planet. And there's a lot of conversation about how regenerative agriculture can help this planet. And there's a lot of talk about how appreciating nature more is going to help us on this planet. What if we appreciated the biodiversity of the rainforest and therefore we didn't cut down the trees? And what if we appreciated the ocean and we didn't put microplastics in the ocean, or we figured out a way to remove them? So right now, we are in a very historical moment. And if you think about this, what the earth really needs from us right now is this evolution, this love, this sending of love out into the world. And you taking on the 5 stages of spirit gardening and being inspired to do different things in your garden, you might come up with something that might help all the other gardeners. It could be something tiny. It could just be that your one garden inspires, even like one plant that you have inspires, maybe you have a big family, inspires all of them to garden. And maybe one of them comes up with something that changes the way that we garden in the future. All of the garden innovations that have happened over the years, that, the garden tower with the compost in the center, that came about because somebody said, wow, people want to grow food and they want to grow it in containers because they don't necessarily have a yard or they don't have good soil, but they also don't have space to compost, or they don't have an easy way to compost. And the garden tower combines the two. So every garden innovation that's out there came from somebody who is basically doing this process of innovation. And so imagine what's possible in your garden, not only for you, but of all the people that you're going to touch in this process, because we really are all connected. And through nature, we really are all connected. And, you are exactly what this earth needs right now. You're here in this exact historical moment because the earth needs you right now. Isn't that nice to know? And the version of you that's growing and evolving as a human being, and that's loving unconditionally, that's exactly what's needed. So spirit gardening is something that not only helps you and your garden, but it helps your community and your loved ones and the earth as a result. So I'm excited to be sharing this. I feel like this is the moment. And I'm really excited to share this with you. So are you willing to try something a little bit different? Are you willing to, go out of your comfort zone a little bit for something like this? So in our spirit gardening course, we're going to be diving into each of these 5 stages in depth. And we'll be doing a guided visualization for each stage of the process. I'm going to show you some geeky physics. So today on this webinar, I didn't share any slides with you because I really just wanted to connect. And during the course, I'm going to be sharing with you some geeky, easy to understand, geeky quantum physics stuff that is going to expand your imagination of what is possible in your garden and in your life. All right. And we're also going to be playing the 30-day abundance game, because this whole thing, we couldn't do this without a game. We gotta go back to our wild child. We got to go back to our inner child, right? So the reason for the abundance game, this 5-stage process, our rational mind likes a process. So that's why it's a 5-stage process. It's deceivingly simple. And there is a trick to all of it, which is why we have an entire spirit gardening course. So there's consistency and follow through that are very critical in this process. So you don't just do this once, you keep going. It's like peeling an onion. And then imagine on the inside of the onion, there's a gobstopper in there. And you just keep peeling back layers, and you get closer and closer to reveal your dream garden and your nature and your path here on earth. So to put this in perspective, there's a group that I'm a part of, and we committed to a 30-day process, a 30-day game, where we do 4 simple practices each day, and we submit evidence to the rest of the group. And keep in mind, it's 4 simple practices daily. It takes me no more than like 15 minutes. And each day I feel a little bit more like I understand the process. But each day I have a couple more questions too. And after 30 days, I had major revelations, because it takes a while for the process to unfold. And get this. Well, the process is simple. There's a huge difference in results that people experience when they commit to doing it every day for 30 days versus just a couple times here and there. And it's hard to quantify, but it's the difference between somebody who stays with the same question, like, I wonder why this thing is going this particular way. And then if you consistently do it for 30 days, you get your answer, and then you move on the next day. Then you get your answer and you move on the next day, and you get your answer and you move on the next day. And so what we noticed with a group of us is that there was some people who got stuck on one question and they never really moved. And then the people who were consistent and kept going, they just transformed so many things in their life. And so that's what we want to see with all of you going through the spirit gardening course. So if that sounds fun to you, if a 30-day abundance game sounds like fun, and spirit gardening, the little taste of spirit gardening that you've seen so far sounds fun, the guided visualizations, the process, and your evolution as your inner child, hopefully you see how this unleashes more creativity in your life. It unleashes more joy. It unleashes more abundance, and also your optimal health. That what we're feeding our plants is so critical to our health, because those plants are nourishing us. And we think about that in terms of them being organic. But the thing that is most important is our relationship to those plants and the health of that relationship that we're feeding back into ourselves.